Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Joseph with The Explosive Videos. This is part 1 of our audio recording series. If you're pretty proficient at audio recording, then this course might not be for you. There might be some more advanced techniques that you want to look for out there. So save your comments and move to the next video if you're a pro and you're like, hey, this is so simple. Okay, this is designed for those that's never recorded or is just getting into it. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to take you guys online. And we're just going to look up some audio software. And as you can see, this can be some pretty costly software. And the one that we're going to be using is actually the Audacity, the free audio editor and recorder. You guys thought I was going to say that one, right? Yeah, right. I don't even have that. But we're going to do Audacity. Audacity is an awesome software where you can edit, record. You can do pretty much anything you would need to create your audio recordings. This is some great software, and the best thing about it is it's free. So you want to click over here to the download tab. If you're a Windows user, go ahead and click here. If you're a Mac user, don't worry, I won't hold it against you. Go ahead and click there. Then you want to do the recommended downloads. These are just going to be the most recent versions of Audacity. Go ahead and click there. Then you're going to click run, and you're going to go through the prompts, and within a few seconds you'll have the software. I obviously didn't download Audacity because it's already on my computer, but you'll just go through the prompts and you'll have that. When you first open up Audacity, you'll get to this how to get help screen. You could click here if you don't want to see it again, but I always leave it up because you never know, you might want to get some help or get to the manual, and this already has that up for you, and it'll link right to the internet for you. So just go ahead and click OK to close that out. And if you look around here, it's your basic audio recording software, but it's got all the tools you would need to record, edit, and send out some final composed work. So we got file, edit, view. Like I said, this is all things that normally in any other software. Got your pause, your play, your stop, your skip to the start, skip to the end, your record button. You also have your selection tool, and then your time shift tool. You got your zoom in tool here, which also corresponds with these two here. Then you got your different inputs, your microphone input and your stereo inputs here. So obviously if I didn't have a mic plugged in here, then this would be blank. Then this area here is when you record or when you import an audio file, it'll place it on what's called a track here. Down here are your boxes for your time. Okay, let's jump into it. First thing I want to show you guys is how to import an audio file. Just simply go to File, Import, click Audio. Then you're going to need to know where that audio file is on your computer. There's some things that software just isn't going to do, and that's going to be remember where you save certain things. So I'm going to go ahead and use this audio file here. Alright, so here's our audio that we imported. Now if you look over to the left, what you'll see is you'll see this drop down box. This is where you can name this track, but because I imported audio that was already saved and named, it automatically put the name there. So this really comes into play when you have multiple tracks. If I was just recording, I just had this one single track, then it really wouldn't be that important for me to name it. But it's really important for you to start naming your tracks once you have more than one. That way you can stay organized and you'll know which one is which. Let's say for instance I was recording a song here, and I had a piano, I had a bass guitar, electric guitar, some drums, some vocals. That's 5 tracks that I just listed there. And unless I remembered exactly what order each one of those were recorded in, then it's just going to be a hot mess. So it's a lot better to go ahead, as you have a track, just go ahead in there and rename it. You can rename it, you know, this is my bass track or this is my vocals, and that way you stay a lot more organized and it'll save you a lot of headache later. Here we have our mute and our solo buttons. You'll probably really get to understand these a lot more once we start dealing with more than one track. Right now it doesn't really make any sense to mute or solo it because it's the only audio that we have in here. So if I did that, you wouldn't hear nothing. This here is going to be your volume control or your gain for this individual track here. I use this a lot whenever I first record, especially with my microphone. For instance, this track here is a music track. You can see the gain or the volume of this track. It's pretty loud. But if I were to record with my microphone, my vocals straight out of the microphone will probably look about like this until I start doing some effects and adjusting it. So a way to quickly adjust that to where I can hear it is to use my gain. I might lower this down, and then on the next track, which is where I recorded my voice, I might increase the gain on there just to get a quick match and try to level it out some. What I normally do is set this back before I get to my final rendering and everything and adding effects. I'll set it back to 0 and then start dealing with the amplify and things of that sort in the actual effects. But just for a quick fix and to adjust so I can hear things, I like to use these. But you can feel free to leave these settings. If you increase this, you can leave it that way and compile, your audio recording, and there would be no problem with that. It's just something that I like to do. Okay, here is your left and right pan. If I slide this over here, then 100% of the volume is going to be over in the left, and if I did that to the right, but I want to have it centered. Okay, this minimizes your track, and as you can see, boom, if I have 5 tracks, I apparently can't see them all at one time. So if I go ahead and minimize this, then it'll let me see a lot more tracks in there. All right, now I just want to talk about your selection tool and your time shift tool. Your selection tool allows you to grab a portion of your audio and select it. So I have this area here selected, and I can do a number of functions with it. If I hit backspace, boom, it chops that portion out that I had selected, and it slides the rest of my audio over. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. And for all you guys that don't know, I just hit the hotkey, which was Control Z. You can go over here to edit, and there's a number of functions over here that you can do. Cut does the same thing that I did with the backspace. It cut the portion that I had selected out, and it will slide the rest of my audio over. You have to be careful with that, because if I had multiple, let's say I had some drums under here, everything's perfectly in sync, I have it good to go, and then if I delete this, now everything's going to be offset and you're going to have a hot mess. So you definitely want to use that one with caution. I'll show you a quick way. If you did just want to silence a section, all you need to do is go to edit. Then you're going to go under the same tab, you're going to go to silence audio. It keeps everything in the position, and it silences out that audio so you will not hear it at all. Then there's various other options that you have in here. I'm going to go ahead and show you the slice tool. So if I have my selection tool, I'm just going to give one click of the mouse, boom, to put my selection tool there. Then I'm going to go over to clip boundaries and hit split. What that does is that allows you to use your time shift tool, and I broke this track into 2 different portions, so now I can just freely move this part here. Let's see what happened if I didn't split the track before I did that. Okay, so it drags the whole track together, and you might want to do that, or you might not want to do that. So if you don't want to do it, obviously you have that option to do the split, and then you can just move this anywhere you want to. So that can also be an alternative versus hitting silence the audio. You could just split it, move it over if you need to, or you can split and take the whole section out if you like. Last thing I want to show you tonight is how to save your project. You can go to Save Project or Save Project As. I like doing the Save Project As. This warning is going to pop up unless you hit this after the first time. And all that's simply saying is you are not exporting right now. All you're doing is saving this Audacity file in which contains the work you did. If you wanted your audio exported, you'd have to go to File Export, which I'll show you later. But right now we're just saving this project, and we would be able to come back in it later and we can add something to it, or we can do other edits. I'm going to just call this overriding. I'm going to cut that out of here and hit save, and now it is saved. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for us today in part 1 of our audio recording series. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment below, and I would do my best to get to those as quickly as possible. And I look forward to seeing you guys in our next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.